Superman news. Early screenings reveal Superman's opening scene continues a big trend stealing from Star Wars. So I just talked about Star Wars with Dakota Johnson, and I actually didn't even plan it out like that. Superman flies into theaters in less than a month, and James Gunn's new movie is expected to be a box office triumph. Starring David Cornsweet as the Man of Steel, the film visually and totally influenced by Christopher Reeve's tenure as a character, beginning with Superman in 1978. It's actually called Superman the Movie, and ending with Superman 4: The Quest for Peace in 1987. But Gunn's Superman will have more in common with Reeves' beloved films than initially thought, as well as pulling from vast library of DC comics, including All-Star Superman. Gunn is also following the trend of Superman pulling from other major Star Wars or major sci-fi franchise Star Wars. According to the outlet, the DC Universo DC, the opening scene of James Gunn's Superman will be heavily inspired by George Lucas's Star Wars as the first movie in the new DCU. Superman will have lots of contextual establishing to do, and James Gunn has chosen to give audiences the necessary background info using something similar to the Star Wars iconic text scroll. The report revealed that Superman opens with a text introduction that sets up the film and a wider DCU. Okay, so this actually makes like a lot of sense to me. I believe it was Superman 3. They had a Star Wars style credits. It wasn't necessarily like a background or like a plot driven narrative. It was just the credits that went in the style of the Star Wars crawl from bottom to top. And in Superman Returns, they didn't have necessarily a crawl, but they did have a, a a paragraph or whatever that says like, oh, this is where Superman's been, this is what's happened recently, blah blah. So it was just like in a straight text. It wasn't in a crawl format. So, but with this in particular, it does make sense because it's taking inspiration from. I think he's taking inspiration from all the movies. It was called Superman Legacy at one point, and I think James Gunn put that into from all the Supermen into this movie. In that this is the legacy of this is the new Superman paying homage and having the legacy of the other ones, all the good and all the bad, within just this one character, this one movie. I think that's why it was originally titled Superman Legacy. Maybe it wasn't. That's just my own personal thoughts. But it would also make sense, as I was saying, that it would take inspiration from the other Superman movies, from having the crawl style. That's Star Wars, but as I said, Superman 3, they had a crawl style. I'm pretty sure it's Superman 3. They had a crawl style of the credits. And then so to do that, and then blend it with Star Wars, it makes a lot of sense. And especially because apparently metahumans and superheroes have lived in this world for 300 years. And what that tells me is that we're going to see maybe flashbacks or maybe alternate scenes of Hawk Girl because she gets reincarnated every time she dies. So she's probably lived this life once or twice, or maybe this is her third go around. So she's been around for a long time. I think they don't have like the memories and everything when they come back, but I think they could do something to where they would get their memories at some point, somehow, some way. Um, so with there being characters and creatures and monsters, gods and monsters, that's what the chapter's called, chapter one. For 300 years, it makes total sense that they would do a crawl or like a segment where they just explain what's going on, where we are, and stuff like that. So I like it. I like the idea. If you had told me about a month or two ago, maybe 3 months ago, I'd say like, oh, okay, like what else is new? These guys just copying something else. But no, it makes total sense. I love the crawl style of Star Wars, of course, and I'm interested to see how it will look in the modern times with whatever font they choose in the movie. I'm sorry, excuse me. In the trailers, they've been going with the style of the classic Superman, like the bubble words. So I'm curious if they're going to do that or change the style, and if the music is going to be similar or if it's going to be completely new. So it has me curious and it has my attention. So I am looking forward to that and seeing just what that's like. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. But from what I hear and what the context of the movie that we have so far, I think it makes perfect sense. Back to the article now. While some fans might be confused as to why Superman is pulling from Star Wars given their major differences in genre, the DC Comics franchise has a long history of stealing from George Lucas's seminal sci-fi series. Richard Donner's Superman, the movie released in 1978, was heavily influenced by Star Wars: A New Hope. Aside from the most obvious example, John Williams composing both films, there are many other instances of Superman pulling from Star Wars' success. Several props from A New Hope appeared in Superman, and Christopher Reeve even turned to Darth Vader himself. David Prowse to bulk up to play the Man of Steel. I wouldn't say working out with somebody is stealing, but okay. Superman begins with the Star Wars. Okay, this is just home of the DCU, just talking about it. So no pictures of what it looks like or anything like that. So with that, that's basically the end of the article there. So what do you guys think? This is still a really cool poster, by the way. What do you guys think about the Superman movie starting with a crawl? Are you excited for it? Do you not care? Do you think it's copying? Do you kind of have my side on it, where it's like, okay, they got 300 years of superheroes in history. They got to explain something somehow, some way. Let me know all that down below.